Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Loose Balls Podcast. I'm your host,
Yeah.
Chris, and I'm here with my co host, Eli.
Yes, of course, of course. Ready to get into this wild card playoff moment here, dude. Lots of big moments here and some upsets.
I think quite a few upsets, actually.
Yes.
Shout out Joe Flacco for coming back to earth with us, baby. That was
It
a
came
fun little
back down
trip.
to earth.
But
Yep,
that
yep,
eight
yep.
interceptions through 6 games looked a lot nicer
Yep.
until you threw four. It wasn't four, but you know what I
Gotcha.
mean.
hmm Dude, yeah. Yeah, that Browns performance there. I can't say that it wasn't necessarily foreseen, but the matchup was granted, especially going against this young and invigorated Texans team, you know,
Yeah,
really hard to
especially
contend with.
when you have Rookie of the Year on your team,
hmm Yep.
can't beat it.
Rookie of the year
But it
at the
does,
QB position.
yeah.
Nuts.
But it doesn't help that like one of those interceptions was god awful. Running away,
Yeah.
turns, throws across his shoulder, and just punts it to the Texans
Yep.
player, like just right in his lap.
Yeah. I don't think the Texans are going to be seeing moments like that moving forward. That's
No,
kind of one of those wild card moments, but you know, it's going to be it's going to be very exciting to see how this Texans team spans out.
yeah, it's gonna be good. They get Baltimore, so that was a fun run. That was a fun
Yeah,
run.
yeah. I mean, you did say in a previous episode here, dude, a lot of teams they don't really like taking that off time. So we'll see if
We'll see.
some rust develops, maybe. Maybe
Maybe.
a little bit of depth. Crossing their T's, dotting their I's on the Texans. That's what they're gonna need to do if
Yeah.
they're gonna want a chance here at the big spot here.
One of my hot takes hit as well. Looking at one of the next games, didn't hit.
Mm,
Halfway hit, because the Steelers
okay.
still needed to win, but we got a Packers win over them boys.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
this is true, dude. I mean, when push comes to shove, Dak's gonna choke. That's one of those things you can pretty much depend on. That's something that I'm sure as a very avid football viewers, we've seen year in, year out. This is absolutely no surprise whatsoever. You
but he
know?
switched his cadence this year. This was his year. He switched it up.
I mean, we them boys, right?
Yeah, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, here we go. Dude, too good, too good. Love to see it,
Yeah,
love to
so,
see it.
but
You know, I
Packers
mean,
move on. Packers go to the Super Bowl.
true, dude.
Just saying.
True, dude.
This is
Next
it.
season, we're gonna be hearing grumbles of is Green Bay the next Bengals? And
There's no
the
way.
staunch answer to that is going to be no. But I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I can't believe it. They've already said that they're retaining Mike McCarthy through 2024. He's coming back next season. I,
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
the clock
There you go.
management alone makes you question it. But
Yes.
but they made the playoffs ish.
hmm
That team's too good though to not be winning in playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That is
we
true.
also learned Dolphins do not do well over ice.
Oh man, dude. At
That
all.
was
So so unfortunate here, dude.
I got to sit
So
up here and take
unfortunate.
my egg on the face for that one because I was pretty confident we were going to go down there and smoke them, and
I
it
was
just
pretty
looked
confident too.
pretty. It
I
did
didn't even
not look
think
good.
the temperature was going to be a factor for the Dolphins here. Kansas City
Minus
looks so
23 is
terrible.
crazy.
Yeah, true. I mean, through these last few weeks, Kansas City has looked really bad. Not as bad as what we'll get to here pretty soon. Eagles bad, but
Oh God,
bad
yeah,
nonetheless.
yeah.
You know.
Let's see. We got, and then we also got the Rams wrong. Lions won
hmm
it. It. I'm glad. I'm glad they won.
Same.
It
hmm
would have been nice to see Stafford get revenge against his old team, but Lions need this. Dan Campbell needs this.
Yeah,
Man
broke
can't
the
wake up and commit his body to 1,100 milligrams of caffeine every day.
This is true, dude. I mean, they broke the curse. They were the longest losing streak in playoff games since 1991. Do you, Chris, know who the next victor of that title is?
Since 1991?
Yep, has not seen a playoff win.
Oh man, that's gonna be
Next year
hard.
after that, the current title holder for least playoff wins right now, it takes place in the year 2000.
All right, I'll bite. Who is it? There's like every team I think
I'll
of
give
has
you
a
an
win.
even bigger hint. It's one of our favorite teams.
No way, it's the Raiders, right?
It's not the Raiders.
Okay.
It's
Is
the
it the
Dolphins. It's the Dolphins.
Oh, longest playoff drought? Yeah, we
Yeah,
sucked.
longest playoff drought since the year 2000. Raiders come in right behind them at 2002, though.
I was gonna say because they were in the Super Bowl. They played the
Yeah,
Bucks. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
uh-huh.
Lost to the
Yeah,
Bucks, but did they?
yeah.
Yeah, they did because
Did
that
we? Yeah.
was against Gruden, right?
Yes,
Gruden
we.
grinders to the Buccaneers,
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
and then
Crazy, crazy how it gets
the
done.
two we got like right. We'll start with because we went 2-4 this week. Not a good week.
Hmm. Yep.
The two that we got right. We'll start with the less entertaining win, and that's the
Okay.
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't.
I mean, it's not like
No,
we couldn't have seen this coming. Bills have been looking pretty hot these last few weeks,
this is true.
going
They
against
have
a very mid Steelers
who were down T.J. Watt. So
who were down T.J. Watt, and their defense was the factor that kicked him in the butt here this
yeah.
time.
Well, and
Really
the
feeling
offense just
bad.
couldn't get anything going.
Really feeling bad for the whole situation with the coach, though. You remember seeing the post game interview with all that?
No, I must have missed that one.
Yeah, coach was asked a question on his contract because he only has one more year as a contract as head coach for Steelers. I'm forgetting his name right now.
Oh, Mike
Damn shame
Tomlin.
too. Mike Tomlin, yeah, has one more year on his contract, and right after the loss, just wasn't ready for the question. Just stormed out of the conference.
Well, because you can only. I mean, he's at a winning record,
Yeah,
but that can
not
only
only has he
carry
had
you
a
so
winning record,
far.
he's had a winning record with the team they have right now.
Yeah.
That's a freaking star on the vest if you ever gave him one.
Yeah, but you can only have the same for so long before you start to call for more. Like,
Yeah.
what's it? One Super Bowl? Two?
I think one, right? Maybe two. I
I
forget.
thought so too. I thought that was the Troy Polamalu
It was
led
definitely the Troy
defense.
Polamalu win,
Yeah.
and then
But how
I
would you be
think they
Ben?
lost against the Ravens, like either that year after or the year after that.
Okay. Yeah, it was not like that's too long to go without a ring. It's the same thing that people were starting to put credibility to Rogers' name is like you have to get a ring at some point. Like
True.
you, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So Bills looked good.
Yeah.
Both tight ends started making catches. They came out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
started playing
Yep.
well. Uh, yeah, I think the Bills are gonna go far-ish. I don't want them to, but they're
True,
gonna do
dude.
it. And
Mm.
then the last one, the most
Yeah.
important one,
Most
the
important.
one that puts a man over a team in scoring in playoff wins.
Yes,
We're
dude. That's
looking
true.
at Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers absolutely stomping the Eagles.
I know. I
Browns
know,
with
dude.
one playoff win. Also
Mm-hmm.
with Baker Mayfield at the helm. Baker Mayfield now with two. So
Yeah. Pretty nuts, dude. How far do they make it? Like the question is, when do they crack? Because they've been doing so good for so long now.
who do they get next? I mean, I could see it one more week. They play the Lions next.
Ooh,
I could see one more week.
that's gonna be such a passionate game, because
Yeah.
people that are fans of Baker Mayfield are dying for Baker Mayfield. But to be fair, take your average Lions fan off the street, and they're dying of thirst still.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
true.
mean, this is gonna be a heart wrenching game here. Out of the two, hmm, I don't know, dude. Golf seemed pretty stinking confident coming out of that game there. Over 300 yards, not bad, not bad.
Yeah. All right.
Mm,
You want a spicy take here? Just right
let's
out
hear
the
it.
rip.
Yeah.
With this playoff win, I now think Baker Mayfield is better than Justin Herbert in all aspects.
Oh, I there is an argument for that, and I would have to say I have to remain neutral. You know, I would say more tested is definitely our guy here, playing at the helm of the Bucks here. I think I'd have to give Herbert just the edge going into this next year.
It's because he hasn't played for 4 teams. That's what
Because he
everybody
hasn't
banks it
played
on.
for
Is
4
they
teams.
assume that because
Yeah.
Baker's played for 4 teams, he's bad.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Numbers speak for themselves.
That is true. Can't
But then
argue with that.
again, so did Ryan Fitzmagic. So I am okay with having another Ryan Fitzmagic bouncing around. That's like,
Mhm.
hey, that guy's pretty good. And then 2 years later, you're like, yeah, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad we got our quarterback.
Yeah.
So I saw. I mean, is there any other things you want to talk about this?
For the Eagles game. I mean,
Uh,
they just looked really like discombobulated, you know.
Does this skid cost Nick Sirianni his job?
I think absolutely. I think this does
Okay.
absolutely cost him his job. You know, after a narrow victory last year, got him to stay on the ropes after all this here in the postseason. Watching the absolute self-destruction that's happened these past, what, 6 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
Nuts, dude. Nuts. You know, you're losing one of the Kelsey brothers, you know, one of the heart of the O-line, you know.
He hasn't announced
Uh,
it yet.
He hasn't announced it yet.
Nope. So there is a
No.
chance he comes back, but I mean, it's a
Writing's
long
on the
career
wall.
to be lineman. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm Real long career. I can only imagine how his hips are feeling.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. But, you know, yeah, no, I think it does cost him his job. I think we're going to see something over the postseason here.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him being gone.
Especially with like so many coaches like bouncing around the league right now, you know.
Yeah, and well, this team is imploding. Like AJ
Mhm.
Brown's going to ask for a trade. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think if he stays, I wouldn't be necessarily too surprised. But I think with this skid, it might have cost it.
That's what I'm thinking there, dude.
Yeah. So I saw something though.
Mm.
Maurice Jones-Drew put out an article saying that he had found the ideal spot for all of the top free agent running backs this year.
Really?
And
You want to run through them?
yeah.
All right, yeah.
Because the first one is Derrick Henry,
hmm
and he says the best one is the Baltimore Ravens to sign him.
I was actually just gonna say that. I think that is such a good idea. Put him in
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens, shop around with the RBs you got. I think that's not bad. That's a good, if they don't make Super Bowl win right now, I think that's a good Super Bowl push team next year.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, J.K. Dobbins,
Injury prone,
is he coming
right?
back?
I
Right?
don't know.
And
Yeah.
Gus Edwards is also a free agent. I mean, yeah,
hmm
this is probably the best place to put him. You have
Yeah.
the team, like what? You're paying Lamar,
hmm
but all of your receivers except for Odell Beckham are on rookie deals.
hmm
Mark Andrews is under contract. I mean, you could
hmm
make this work with your salary cap.
I think he could too.
I think you'll have to pay Roquan Smith, right? Or
hmm
no, he might have been traded on. I can't remember if he was traded on his last year of his contract or not. But yeah, it's just going to be a good fit. I'd see
Yeah,
it. He's going to
I
do.
think that's a good fit too. Yeah,
I think
that completely makes sense.
I think his productivity drops, but his win rate goes up.
Yeah.
Because they don't need
like,
him to run.
Look at the last few years he's had. You know, it's 3 out of the 4 plays, give the ball to Derrick Henry. You know,
Right.
give him some breathing room. You know, you got an arm behind the ball. You can air it out, have the threat with Mark Andrews there in the midfield. You got some speed on the outside, and you got a hard puncher right down up. You know,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
in the middle.
I could see it.
hmm
So, I mean, I can't really think of a better place for him to go unless he goes to replace like a running back somewhere else. But they're all the good ones are leaving funky situations. You know, Vikings wouldn't be bad. They need a
Vikings
run
are
game.
desperate for a run game. Yeah.
True. He wouldn't go to
You know
Green
who else is
Bay.
desperate for a run game?
Who?
Kansas City.
That's true. They actually are on this list. I've looked it over already.
There you go.
You know, Chargers wouldn't be bad,
I feel like Chargers are stuck, you know.
but they're stuck with an older team anyway. So do you really do it? I doubt
Uh,
it.
I doubt
So,
it.
all right. Yeah, I think the Ravens is the best fit. Next
Mhm.
one is Saquon Barkley.
Ooh,
And if
where's he going?
the Giants are not smart enough to re-sign him, they say
Mhm.
Saquon Barkley to the Cowboys.
Wow. I mean,
God, could you imagine
dude,
Cowboys
I mean,
fans at that point?
yeah, sure, dude. Do you know how much how gaslit Cowboys fans would be like getting
Yeah.
an RB like that? That would be hilarious. You know, honestly, I think it would still be like there's like some sort of curse on the team. You know, it's like so good, too good to be true, and like they make another playoff push and then they lose first round. You know, it's like I could see that exact routine happening.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it all comes down to the coaching more so than the team. That team
Yeah.
was already good.
hmm I
Saquon
don't know.
makes it better.
Did you see all of the back and forth during the game between CeeDee Lamb and the coach and Dak?
Oh, I'd be furious. He wasn't getting the ball at all.
At
Like,
all, dude. I know.
if I'm in the red zone,
hmm
first
And you're
option,
not
CeeDee
throwing
Lamb.
the ball. Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
not throwing the ball to your star. Yeah.
I mean, that being fair, Jake Ferguson, also a big body, probably could catch the ball just fine. But it's CD first.
Yeah.
So,
Tough. Tough to be a
but,
Cowboys fan.
right? I mean, unless they get Saquon. But
I
Saquon
mean,
himself has also said, like, he wants to be a Giant for life. But Jerry Jones got that fuck it money.
true. He does. He
So,
does. That would be interesting. That'd be funny more than anything else. I think
I,
the Derrick Henry move is makes sense, but this one, it also
yeah,
makes sense, but it's kind of like a comedy routine.
right. The next one is DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
And they say the Eagles just re-sign him. That's his best fit. I
hmm
kind of agree. He he was not used well on the Lions. And I
hmm
don't think there's a team anywhere else in the league that needs a running back like him. He's
hmm
not bad and he's a hard runner, but he's not a Saquon Barkley. He's not a Derrick Henry.
Yeah. He sounds like he
Yeah,
would fit perfect with the other liabilities over on the Jets, honestly.
but at the
That's
same
all I can
time,
say.
like this is one of his best kind of like years that he's had. So
Yeah,
just keep it rolling.
true.
All right. Next one before I tell you where Maurice Jones-Drew says he should go. I want you to tell me where Josh
Mm.
Jacobs goes.
Where do I think Josh Jacobs goes? I honestly don't really care, but honestly, I could see some sort of bigger move happening with the Falcons. Trading away um, Robinson, picking up Jacobs.
That'd be a stupid move, but I could see them also doing something like that. Or maybe Washington. Um,
Yeah,
Either way,
just like something like because he was such a big name, last
yeah.
year, number one RB, ends up in like some sort of catastrophic deal. Just for the Raiders makes perfect sense. Like I could just see it right now in the tabloids.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh, they went safe. They said the Vegas Raiders should re-sign him.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I agree. I think they should probably sign and trade him.
Yeah.
But okay, then here's the question. Is he worth it? Is he worth trading for?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the RB position this last year was just underutilized. Not a lot of love. Every bit of attention went straight to CMC. I mean, he just sucked it all up. You know.
Right.
So I don't really know, dude.
Uh, Next one is Tony Pollard. They have him
Oh,
going
okay.
to the Vikings.
Nice. Okay. I
I
mean,
think that falls in that category of like not desperation, but
yeah,
he, the offense is already fast and mobile, so he fits that. Like he doesn't need to be a setup, get 3 yards, set up, get 3 yards. It's like we
yeah.
need you to get a
Hmm.
couple yards on a quick play. Sure,
Yep.
I think he fits. I think he
Yeah,
fits there,
I can see that.
and he's not really
See that.
competing with anybody. Alexander Madison and Ty Chandler both had moments, but I think Pollard's better than both of them.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah.
True.
Next one is Devin Singletary. Props to him for having a comeback after leaving the Bills.
True, dude.
They say the Texans
Honestly,
should just re-sign him.
I think they should too.
I think so. I don't.
Hmm.
I don't know if he has the success anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I think this
Hmm.
is probably the best place.
I agree.
Um, Next one is Austin Eckler,
Okay.
and they say he goes to the Chiefs.
Hmm.
And I think that
I
makes
think
the
that's a,
Chiefs.
yeah, that makes the Chiefs pretty scary. I mean, in my opinion, you know.
Uh, but with Pacheco, I don't know. Maybe I say Tony Pollard is a better fit than Austin Eckler.
For their dynamic, I mean, maybe like Patty Mahomes is one of those guys that needs a lot of options, you know, and I don't know if Pollard's going to be the guy that gives him that, but I know that Eckler's going to be the one that gives him that, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
being able to scramble out of the pocket with Mahomes, pick up on average 5 yards, and that's if there's no right wide receivers, which was the case this last season. I think that's a pretty solid fit.
yeah. I agree. I always see him as more of like a three down back kind of thing, but I mean he can
Yeah,
catch passes. So
yeah.
next one is Ezekiel Elliott, and they're saying
Thought
he,
that dude
after
was in the
proving
league.
himself with the Patriots, goes on and joins the Green Bay Packers.
Go for it. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, who's the Packers RB again? You got Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones,
Um.
but and AJ Dillon is also hitting free agency. So
Oh, okay. Hmm. Whether just do
so
like a straight up switch.
I don't know if anybody goes to the Patriots. I haven't seen them on the list yet. We're getting past where I looked at. I just kind of glanced at it. Oh, nope, they're not on the list, so they're not getting anybody. They're well,
Uh,
no, they have Ramondre Stevenson. They're not going to go for it
yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I think
Bingo.
Zeke for the rest of his career is going to bounce around the league.
Yeah. 100%.
This is what he's become.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then AJ Dillon, they're saying goes to the Bears.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say who's gonna be going to the Bears.
But
Uh,
they
I
have an okay
initially.
running back group.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
But AJ Dillon makes it better.
Yeah,
So,
he does. Hmm.
but what were you saying? You were originally gonna.
I was originally gonna either say Jacobs or the RB from. Ooh, where was he from? Not Saquon. Trying to remember. I think it was a blue team.
It's not Derrick Henry, is it?
No. But like a confident, like ground and pound guy, you know, just give him the ball. He's gonna be good for those few yards, you know. I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of fits Chicago's dynamic.
And then I agree. I mean, yeah, especially with the fact that they might lose Justin Fields, which means they're going to change their offense from a
Yeah.
RPO to a more standard West Coast offense. Yeah.
Hmm.
So last one is Gus Edwards because he took over for J.K. Dobbins this year for the Ravens, and they're saying the Ravens just re-signed him. He's just a good insurance piece to have. And I think personally that he's being set up to be like an Alexander Madison, and that's not good for him because
Yeah.
remember, Madison backed up. Oh my goodness, why can I not remember his name? He just got cut
AP?
from the Jets. No,
Oh.
Dalvin Cook.
Uh.
He
Oh
backed up
yeah.
Dalvin Cook for
Hmm.
a while, and Dalvin Cook got hurt, and he came in and he ran hard, and he looked good, and everybody's like, well, we should just let Dalvin Cook leave. And he
Yeah.
left. And then now he sucks. So
Whole scheme fell apart.
don't fly too close to the sun here. Know what you've got. Know he's a good backup. He'll
Mhm.
fill in a pinch. He could be a good change of pace. Yeah. Ravens need to get a running back. So
Yes, they do. They need to get a hit on their RB position and staff.
you think we get any big name players like crazily retiring, unexpectedly retiring?
Ooh. I mean, is it crazy to say Aaron Rodgers retires?
No, he's got to come back for one season, and then if he
Think
loses
so?
early, he retires.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, he's gonna retire, or he's not gonna retire.
I mean, maybe Mark Andrews, you know,
Oh yeah,
right? Like, he's not no spring chicken. Maybe Travis Kelce after next year?
after next year, I could see it. Not this year.
Yeah, not this year.
I think Gronk retires again because he announced he's coming out of retirement.
Yes, of course. How could we forget?
No, I think the big surprise one. That's not really a surprise. I bet you we see a lot of like backup quarterbacks that have been around forever retire that we forgot about. Like
Jimmy
I think
G.
Jacoby Brissett. Oh, Jimmy G. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He probably retires.
Oh man. Oh, that would be so tragic to see Brissett go.
Carson Wentz might retire.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if any. I mean, okay.
Brian
wait.
Hoyer. I don't know how big of a name that is.
A Derrick Henry retirement instead of signing somewhere else. I think that
I mean,
would
that's
be
what
a
I
big
initially thought. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying a few weeks ago. Like, he's also no spring chicken. He has ran his career. He did good. I don't think he has to go anywhere.
True. Man, the league's young. I thought we
The
had a
league
lot
is
more.
young, dude.
I thought we had a lot more older guys. Jalen Ramsey would be a pretty surprising retire after just getting paid by the Dolphins, but I could see it because he got hurt. Or he wasn't hurt. He had that big knee surgery and then he came back.
Mm-hmm.
OBJ could retire.
Yeah. That would be pretty crazy, though.
Hopefully
he doesn't go out like AB, dude. Hopefully.
He gets another ring and retire. No, I think he's smarter than that.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, he waited
Here's to
for the money.
hoping.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Matt Stafford. I think Matt Stafford retires. I forgot about him. I think the head injuries last year. I'm surprised he came back this year, and then he proved that he could still win.
Came back halfway through that game.
Yeah, he proved he could still win with pretty much anybody on the team. It doesn't hurt that one of those players was Puka.
True.
So, yeah, I think he hangs it up, and I don't think anybody faults him. He got the ring. He won it.
Yeah, he got the ring. That's true.
I think that sets him up as a Hall of Fame quarterback. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Say la vie.
Yeah. I don't think there's very many others. A Geno Smith retirement would be surprising.
That one would be surprising.
But
Justin
I don't think
Tucker.
So. Sad, but not surprising.
Yeah.
Because
man,
it's like the same thing with Adam Vinatieri. Like when he retired, it's like, yeah, we're sad, but yeah. So.
Yeah. Janikowski. Oh man, what a name, dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What a name in the NFL. Golly. He was my superhero growing up for the Raiders. I'll have you know.
Was he real? Well, he was the highest scoring Raider ever, right?
I think so. The amount of field goals that got through 6 years was insane.
And they all could easily have been 60 yards, and he bangs them home no problem.
Oh,
so
consistently. He was the more consistent Justin Tucker, until Justin Tucker broke his record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think kickers get no love, and I feel bad because I know their position's hard.
Yeah, it's like cut and dry, dude. You miss a few, you're gone,
Right. And so, but you don't see them all game. until you really need them, and then they come out, and then
Yeah,
they're the
and
most
all
loved guy
them.
or hated guy. So you
Yep,
gotta
yep,
live
yep.
for the moment to be a
True.
kicker. But
Sheesh.
not me.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some upcoming playoff games?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So first one is Texans at Ravens.
That's going to be an uphill battle for the Texans. I sadly don't think they have it in them, but I hope they win. What do you think?
I agree. Like, part of me wants to be like, nah, we bet against the Texans last time when it didn't look good, and they came out and
That's
smoked
true.
them.
They did
But
smoke
this is
them.
a very different beast. Like we're
Yeah,
comparing Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson now.
yeah,
It's
that's
it's
true.
different.
hmm
Yeah, no, they've just got. I think they got it.
Next year for the Texans,
Yeah.
they had their moment in the sunshine this year. You know.
Now that being said, I'm gonna flip it 180 and pick the underdog on this one because it's the Packers at the Niners, and I don't think Brock Purdy has it. I don't
Oh,
think he does
oh, okay. I
because see,
mean,
the
hey, hey,
Texans beat the
if our
Browns.
listeners know anything, okay, they know we are a bunch of 49er haters in here, guy.
Absolutely.
So I am always more than willing to take the under on underneath those 49ers.
All right. And so the logic here is that while we didn't take the Texans against the Ravens, the Texans beat the Browns. Okay,
Yes,
not bad. We're
mhm,
taking the Packers because the Packers bullied the Cowboys, and I
they
think they
did.
can do it again. I think they just get
I think they could too.
underestimated and they stomp them.
I think
Now,
I think they underestimate that defense in the first quarter. Their game strategy going into that Cowboys game was we need to beat them off kickoff. We need to beat them off first four plays. We need to show them why we are here in the playoffs. They did that. They ruled the entire first half of that game, and that's what got them the win at the end of the day. That I'm convinced of that.
yeah,
That and the discombobulation behind the Cowboys.
you
I think
set the
that could
tone.
very easily happen here with the 49ers, who is massively momentum based.
Yeah.
Purdy needs to have a strong head on his shoulders, which he has shown not always is the case, especially late this season. And that's why I think Green Bay is also going to make it here.
I think so. I think it's going to be I'm sticking to it. Green Bay goes to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
I don't
Hot take.
I don't like it because Green Bay, that means then Green Bay hits again on quarterback, and I don't want them to. I want them to have some bad
Yeah,
seasons, but I think
that's
this
true.
team just looks too good.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's keep this hype train rolling for underdogs because it's the Buccaneers at the Lions.
Oh, I don't think there's
And,
any underdogs, I mean, these are pretty well
well, they're
matched up.
both, they have the Buccaneers actually severely projected to loss. Projected to lose by a
Really?
touchdown, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty surprising.
And I don't think that's the case. I think Baker Mayfield keeps this hype train going. That's just
hmm
me. I am
hmm
open to being swayed for the Lions because I also think the Lions deserve like some love here in the playoffs because
Yeah,
it
dude.
is they
I
both have so much going for it.
Yes, yes. After watching the Lions Rams game, I saw every bit of experience behind that coaching staff and game calling that I saw when they won that Super Bowl. They're on that Rams team. And you want to know what the Lions did? They answered every single call they could have gotten. Not only were the refs partially against them in that game, I might point out, um, they were able to manage the clock, manage the plays, see what they needed downfield, make the adjustments in halftime, and execute. That's why I think they are going to outclass this, might I say, lucky Buccaneers
All
team
right,
here.
all right, all right.
Okay. Might I say
Uh,
lucky? Look at their division. It's, let's be honest, pretty piss poor.
okay, I'll give it to you. I'll say it's the Lions. Um, did you see the play when they were playing the Rams where the lineman runs out and he
Dude.
makes sure to flag down the ref to be like, "I'm
Nuts.
checking in as eligible."
Yes, yeah, dude. Exactly. Everyone was like, all right, we all know the debacle that happened a few days
Yeah,
ago. Now he's
yeah,
making a whole scene. Yeah.
yeah,
Good,
absolutely.
dude.
Well, as
I
he
love to see
should.
that, dude. Yeah, as he should
Yeah.
is right, dude. You just
So,
love to see it. Coaches, I'm sure, had a riot with that one.
all right, and the last one are two teams that I both want to lose, so it's hard to pick a loser here. It's the
Mm.
Chiefs at the Bills.
Oof, yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Team that knocked out
Um,
my team versus the team in my division that I don't
mm,
like. So,
yep.
yep.
I think you got to go with the team that in your division that you don't like, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, fuck
We
Patty
ain't with
Mahomes.
those. We ain't with the Chiefs, you know.
No.
Patty
And
Mahomes
I
cracked
don't.
a little earlier this season. He really showed, that, female dog energy, and not really hear about it. I'd like to see, Bills make it a little further than they did last year.
Well, payoffs aren't that great now that we're down to 4 games.
True.
$1 gets you $12 if you get them all
Not
right.
bad. Not bad.
Ooh. So I might be switching to touchdown picks only.
Oh,
Going
okay.
touchdowns from here.
Yeah, that's fine.
But not on this. We can still pick games. I wouldn't pick
Yeah.
touchdowns out here. That's a lot. Looking at these games, look at where they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs and Bills is going to be a cold one either way because it was -40 something wind chill versus sleet and snow. People getting there at
Yeah.
like 3 in the morning to dig it out for the Bills. Insane, by the way,
Nuts.
Bills fans.
Nuts. I know.
Insane.
Yeah. A class of their own, dude. Golly. I remember I was at a Kansas City Raiders game when I was younger, and it was torrential downpours in that old, dilapidated Coast Coliseum there, dude. Golly. That was a rough game to participate in. But, it was good to be there.
Looking at it, Lions are in a dome, so it doesn't matter. Niners are
Yeah.
in California, so it's going to be chilly, but not
Yeah.
cold.
Nippy. Yeah.
Texans going to Baltimore, though, is going to be a rough one.
Ooh,
Because
yeah.
Baltimore is in the middle of that blizzard. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
I mean,
just...
Texas is also technically in the middle of that blizzard.
Yeah, but like the inch of snow that's shutting down Texas
Yeah.
is nowhere near the 3 feet
That's
that
true. That's true.
we're getting elsewhere. So,
Yeah. Dude, I remember, did you see that reporter ask the head coach of the Buccaneers what they plan on doing about the cold in Detroit? They're like, oh yeah, what are your plans, especially after seeing all these playoff games and all the snow and sleet? What have you been preparing your players for to get ready for this game against the Lions in Detroit? And the coach kind of like sat there and was like looking around. Was like, it's like some sort of prank or something, you know? It's like, ma'am, you do know that the stadium has a dome, right? And yeah, needless to say, they quickly moved on from that question.
yeah, that's bad. How do you not know? I guess maybe if
I
you're
know.
like a
I
local
mean,
reporter,
maybe. I mean, even then, like
you should know. You should know
you should
better.
know. You got one job, you got a few hours to do some research. Locations is kind of like the second or third thing you look at.
Right.
And
And so,
then you check the weather.
yeah. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't think cold necessarily matters as much as like freezing. Like when the ball turns into a brick, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I think even before all that, the field, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Quality of the grass, quality of the turf, softness of the like whatever you're going to be playing on, a lot of that stuff makes a big difference, especially with like the kind of shoes you got to be bringing into the game. It's all fine tuned there in the NFL there, dude.
Yeah. Well, we did our game picks. You want to do some hot takes?
Ooh, yes, let's get some hot takes in here.
All right. I got a couple.
Okay.
If you want me to go first while you think about it.
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
Texans make the game close with the Ravens, but it's not because of CJ Stroud. That defense is going to score points, and CJ Stroud is going to struggle. So the offense is going to be the reason they lose, not the defense.
Interesting.
Because that defense has been picked on a little bit throughout this year, but they look good against the Browns.
I mean, they did look good against the Browns, but the Browns gave them like 3 layups, dude.
True, true. But
You know, they made them look good.
hey, but that's that momentum piece. That's that feel good game. That's that feel good
Okay,
win before
okay, I
you get in
see.
there. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see, I see.
I think also that the Lions do beat the Buccaneers barely,
Yep.
but it's not because of Jared Goff throwing the ball. It's because David Montgomery is going to have one of those games like he did earlier in the year where he throws for like 300, runs for like
Oh,
300 yards and like 4 touchdowns.
I see. I see. All right. My hot take. I think Green Bay surprises us in first quarter, has an extremely aggressive man defense, and injures CMC
Ooh,
first quarter.
that would be that would be interesting because then that
I
changes the
remember
dynamic. Then I think the
it,
Packers
it
can seal
changes
it.
everything. Brock Purdy loses his head. They lose their run game. Like I said, teams hate having that little bye week right there, just because right before playoffs you need that momentum. Niners have shown you need that big momentum team, right?
Yeah,
And I think Green Bay comes out hooting and hollering. That defense is going to be mean. They're going to be looking to take a little bit of a win here, especially after everything with Rodgers and trying to steal everyone and whatnot. They got a point to prove.
yeah. All right, I could see it.
That's my hot take.
I got one more for you.
Mhm.
Madden Curse has not reared its ugly head in yet this year.
Ooh, you're right. Wait, who was on the
Bills
cover?
Bills beat the Chiefs, but Josh Allen gets hurt.
Oh, oh,
So yeah, I got 3 for you. I had 3 this
yeah,
week.
that's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
think that one's the
I'll
most
double
likely
down
to
on that
happen.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the
because
most
he's been running.
outlandishly insane, but that's definitely
Yeah,
going to happen. That's going to be the
yeah,
one. So,
yep, yeah, exactly. Oh,
all
man.
right. Well, that kind
Yeah,
of wraps it up here. Thank you all for listening in, and we'll see you all next
yes.
week on Loose Balls.
Until next time. Later.
Later.